Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a first impression video, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically where I apply a product for the first time and give my opinion on it, and then I'll come back later on in the day and see how it's lasted and what I think of it by the end of the day. So I'm going to be doing a couple of products. The main one is going to be this tester, which I was sent after I requested a sample of it on their website, of the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation, which I've got in the shade 120 Classic Ivory, which is the second lightest shade they do. And I'm a little bit worried about this because it looks very orangey in the tube, but I haven't been asked all about any of the products I'm going to show you. I literally just decided to do a video on impressions because I thought I'd be interested to see what other people have thought of them too. The second one is this Lash Build Mascara in Black by Natural Collection, and the brush for this looks like this, and it says it creates thicker lashes for extra volume. And for the foundation, I'm going to be putting in the description bar what the official sort of product description that goes with it, because it's quite long and I can't remember it all. And the last thing is another Natural Collection product, which is their Blush Cheek in Pink Cloud. So yeah, I just want to see how all these products work and how they last through the day, and I will show you them being applied in just a second. So to start off with, I have just cleansed my face and applied a moisturiser as normal and let that sink in. As you can probably see on camera, I've broken out quite a bit recently, so I want to see how this foundation sort of covers it, because I could have waited till my skin looked a bit better, but I wanted to see how it did react with having sort of spot prone skin and see what it looks like. I also wanted to see how it reacts to an oily skin type, as it is such a light coverage, and I want to see how it does stay on throughout the day. So I'm just going to apply some of this using my fingers. Just going to take about this much. It's going on quite dark and orangey, and it feels a little bit watery actually, but it does blend in quite well. As you can see there, it's just such an orange sort of colour, and to be the second lightest shade, that's actually quite worrying. However, it does blend quite well. I'm just going to apply a bit more because at the moment that has done absolutely nothing to cover any blemishes. Right, so I'm just going to have a closer look in the mirror. I really don't know if this is picking up, but I've still got a lot of redness here from the blemishes. This one's been covered slightly more, and the shade has adapted pretty well to my skin tone. I know the whole point of this product is to not be too thick and cakey, but it should still give a little bit of coverage, and that just doesn't seem to have happened here at all. Feel wise on the skin, I would say it feels slightly watery, but we'll see what happens when I apply sort of concealer and powder, and I'll let you know how that goes as well. So I just continued to sort of blend the foundation a little bit more, as I noticed I had sort of orange streaks down the edge where I hadn't properly blended it. So now I've sorted those out. I'm just going to use my concealer now, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the lightest shade, which is Fair. I'm just going to see how this does on top of the foundation, because this is really good for covering the blemishes. Well, that's helped a lot to sort of cover them, but normally with my other foundation, which is the Max Factor one, it would have been covered completely. So I'm just going to set that with a powder. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in 2 Pink Blossom. The foundation also looks a little bit shiny, which is quite worrying, as I've literally only had it on for about 5 minutes. And with me having oily skin, I'm worried that's going to get worse throughout the day. Right, so that's it for sort of the foundation. Now I'm going to be using the Natural Collection blusher in Pink Cloud, and this again was a first impressions one, as I haven't used this lighter one before, because the last one I got was very, very dark. This obviously looks quite pink and scary, but hopefully it'll be okay. This is coming out as a lovely sort of subtle pink, which is really nice and just gives a really gentle glow. It isn't super bright, which is nice actually. It does sort of blend into the skin quite nicely. Yeah, actually that's really nice, and that does seem to suit my skin tone pretty well. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. I will see how well that lasts throughout the day as well, although it's not super noticeable. So I am going to be using, as I said, the Lash Build Mascara from Natural Collection. I haven't curled my eyelashes or done anything else because I want to see how this purely works with my normal eyelashes. So I showed you before, but in case you couldn't see properly, this is what the brush looks like. So it's reasonably big actually, but it looks a nice brush. Let's just see how that works. Just managed to get it above my eye. I'm definitely getting a bit of volume, although there's not an awful lot of length with it. If you go wrong, it comes off quite easily. Definitely like volumizing and separating wise, that's done pretty well. But if you compare the two, the length just isn't an awful lot of difference. Just going to do the other eye now. So actually, volume-wise, I really like that. It has done really well to sort of curl the lashes as well and make them stand out a bit more. So yeah, that's really nice. I'll be interested to see how that smudges throughout the day, or if it does that. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with those. I'm just going to have a close look at the foundation and the blusher. Oh, it's just such a sheer coverage, and I think it would be really good for people that have sort of really nice skin and just want a gentle layer to sort of even out a little bit of skin tone. But for people who have sort of teenage skin, who are prone to blemishes and that kind of thing, it's just not going to do a lot. But my opinion may change as it sort of wears throughout the day, and I'll be back later on to let you guys know how I get on. It's literally 11 o'clock now, so I'll probably be back in a couple of hours. Hey guys, so it is now 5 o'clock, so it's really dark outside, so I've had to sort of experiment with lighting just to try and get it so I'm not super pale. It's really dark in here, so hopefully this is okay. The foundation has been on for about 6 hours now, as I said, because it's now 5 o'clock. It hasn't worn brilliantly. I've done no powder throughout the day. The only thing I did, literally before I did this video, was put an oil absorbing sheet, which I got from Boots, on, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this with the lighting, but the clearer areas, which is basically all here, is where all the oil was. So there's been a lot of oil that has come off my face, and throughout the day the foundation has felt really sort of waxy. And as I said, I put in the description bar this sort of official description that was on the product, and it said it's not meant to be like a wax at all, and that to me has just been what it felt like. When applying it felt really watery. In the end, it just made my skin feel really greasy as I went throughout the day. I think overall I've just been really disappointed with how orangey it came out of, as on the website when you go to order a tester, you go through sort of different areas to try and find the best sort of skin range or skin colour range to fit you. And I went for the second lightest shade, so I just really didn't expect it to be so orangey, especially as I went for tones of pink as opposed to tones of yellow in my skin. 115 is the lightest they do, so maybe someone who's tried that can let me know how light it was, and let me know for other people with your skin types what you found. Maybe if you've got oily skin, you tried it with a primer and it lasts a lot better. I might do that at some point when I eventually get a primer that I found works. But even for people with oily skin types, I just think even if your oily skin isn't as bad as mine, I just think it's going to eventually wear off quite quickly. And people with dry skin, I have one dry patch just on my chin, and I made you some pictures of this on my blog to show you when I first applied it, and it just stuck all around it and made that area look bright orange in closer pictures. So yeah, it just really hasn't been very good for me. Maybe if you have really nice skin and a normal skin type, it may work really well for you, but for super pale people with either oily or dry skin, and especially blemish prone skin, I just don't think this is going to work very well for you. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it and absolutely loved it, because I'd be really interested to find out what other people think of it. Also in the Fit Me range you can get concealers and powders, and those I've heard do quite good, so maybe it's just the foundation and maybe it works better with the other two products. But yeah, please let me know guys, because I'd like to see what other people have thought of them. It might just be me. So yeah, I really wouldn't recommend that, but it is quite good at evening out skin tone. That's one thing I would give it. If it does fit right, it is good at evening out the skin tone. But for $7.99 I wouldn't get it just for being able to even out the skin tone and for to be used on those really rare good skin days and when I possibly have slightly more of a tan. Now for the blusher I was wearing today, which is in the shade Pink Cloud. Now this comes out like this on my finger, and then if you use it on your hand it comes out slightly chalky, and then you just rub it in and it blends out perfectly into your skin tone. So although it looks quite scary and bright, it actually comes out a really nice colour on the skin. And for me, I found this wears sort of really well today. I can still just see it, but it's not really noticeable and bright, and I really recommend this. All the Natural Collection products are only $1.99, and they're often for £3 for £5, which I think is excellent sort of value for the quality of the products. Pigmentation isn't obviously brilliant, but for me, for sort of everyday use, it doesn't break me out, and I just think it's a really pretty colour. And yeah, I really recommend this for pale skin tones as well, because for paler people it's quite hard to get that sort of blush that doesn't look super bright or too dark for the skin. Finally, for the review of the Lash Build Mascara, as I showed you earlier, the brush looks just like this, which is a slightly thicker version of their sort of lash curl mascara, and it looks like it's got similar bristles to their waterproof one, or their water guard I think they've called it. As I said when I applied it, it definitely does give some volume and it does curl the lashes, but it isn't very lengthening, so maybe if you used it with a sort of lengthening mascara it would look a little bit better and give the lashes some more, sort of a little bit more volume as well. Also, if you curl the lashes it may help to keep them curled all day, because initially it did curl them, but throughout the day they've gone a little bit flatter, which is probably why you can't notice it as much now. But for $1.99 I think this has been really good, and I would use this sort of on a daily basis, because 6 hours for a mascara to last without any sort of product fallout is actually really good for me, as normally I rub my eyes quite a lot and I do have quite a lot of sort of a panned eye going on by the end of the day. But I think both Natural Collection products have been really good, and I may retry using the foundation with a primer, because I really want to like it because of the sheer coverage and how well it does even out the skin tone, and it doesn't feel like I've got an awful lot of product on my face, although there is a slightly waxy finish. But maybe I'll try it again another time, but I'm just quite surprised, as it is winter and my skin's dried out a little bit more, how much oil I did get off when I tried it. But let me know what you think of these products guys in the comments, and let me know if you've tried them and what your experience has been, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!